know somebody's been waiting to see my face. I am back to recording videos here. You see, a girl had to redo her hair, and people stay attacking my crown chakra, so we gotta stay protected in here at all times. You feel me? So today I wanted to talk about coaching and the difference between coaching versus teaching, and what does it mean to be claircognizant. Now, this has been the hardest thing to explain to people, so I just want to let you know that I have this Rubik's Cube, which is for entertainment purposes only, of course. Now, I took a little while to learn how to solve this cube, and people are usually pretty mesmerized when I do solve it. But the thing with this cube is that when it starts off is that it has, different colors, different sides, different angles, and it can get pretty confusing if you don't know what you're doing or where to even start, right? So usually you look up videos and maybe you find a book or something like that to figure out, which moves to make, your next steps, your next plan. And I kind of think of this cube really as like the world, because when you turn it so much, and you're not sure what to do, sometimes the next best step is to just take the whole thing apart, which I know some of you cheaters out there have done, is take the whole thing apart and start all over again. Well, we kind of already did that when it comes to the world, that whole flood and everything. So that doesn't work when you're trying to teach someone a lesson. And the lesson is to learn how to solve the cube. Now, I've done this so many times and so much that, I really don't have to look at it anymore, because it becomes muscle memory, right? And if someone were to ask me how I actually solve this, I really couldn't tell you at all. Sure, there are some steps that I'm able to come up with or, write down, but because it is muscle memory, I can't really tell you how I solve this cube, but I can definitely show you, right? And that's what claircognizance is, in a way. I have a knowing because I've done it before many times on repeat. It's like a cycle, a lifetime after lifetime. And I may not know how I know the things I know, because it's my soul that knows. It's soul memory. And everyone is able to tap into, what they call clairsenses, because you are a soul. You are a mind, body, spirit, and everyone has gifts and abilities. You just have to do the steps, right? Learn the steps, learn the methods, talk to people, do the research, and you too would be able to understand your soul and sense things. Now, that's really the definition of what it means to have clear senses and be claircognizant, because my soul knows. It's just muscle memory. And, you know, I may not always get things right the first time I do it, but I know how to do it. I have to show you that I know. Telling you doesn't work. And we live in a day and age now where simply telling someone how to do something just doesn't work anymore. Okay? It really doesn't. And now I've lost my train of thought. But when we do have those moments, right, in life, where we do lose what we are doing, we have to pause and observe the reality of the situation. If I were to keep trying to fix this cube without looking and reflecting on where I just went wrong, the cube would not be solved. And we just have to start all over from the beginning. And, well, that's reincarnation. You forget for a moment to learn who and what life is all about and the steps needed to get the full picture. So now that I've taken a moment to pause, I can now carry on with the memory of my muscles and fix this cube. Now, I've reached a point where it appears like I'm done. Sure. And sometimes we don't keep going with something because it looks like it's finished, but there's still some parts we gotta turn and twist and figure out and take the steps to learn how to solve the problem. And I am a problem solver. Okay, a lot of people come to me with problems. I am a Gemini, so I could talk and communicate about problems all day, which is why I'm a coach. And not necessarily a teacher, although that is part of my job description. But when it comes to teaching, anybody, even you, could be a teacher. Because what does it take to be a teacher but to be educated by what other people know? And enough people have come together to learn a subject so that you don't have to, and they can just regurgitate that same information. They don't have to necessarily show you that they know what they're talking about. They can just read it from a book. I'm not reading anything from a book. I am just telling you from what I know to be true within my soul that I have done this before many times, and I can't always tell you, but I can most definitely show you how to solve a cube. Now, I may not know how to solve your cube, but I've done it enough where memory kicks in and certain pictures arise and movements happen. And because I've done it before, I know that I could do it again. No matter if you were to mess this cue up, I know for a fact that I can do this again because I've done it before and it's no problem. I am a problem solver. So if things get scrambled up or mixed up or hard to do and you can't figure it out, and well, you find someone who knows how to do it. And this is why I'm a coach, not a teacher, because I have experienced all the things that I'm talking about. If I am talking about ETs, right, extraterrestrials, it's because I am one. And I've done enough background research and have enough knowing and insight to tell you about Pleiadians, reptilians, Alpha Draconians, blue avians, other extraterrestrial species that come to mind, such as Lyrans and the mantises, other star races who have come to simply tell you that the Creator creates and did not stop at one creation. There is more to know and always more to know, even if you may have solved your cube. You don't know everything, okay? If you did, you'd be back with the Creator. I may have solved that cube, but I have this one here, which is a bit more challenging. And I also have this weird shaped cube because, again, the Creator doesn't stop at one creation. The Creator may decide to make something in a pyramid shape or whatever you want to call this. I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but it's here. It doesn't stop being it because I don't know what it's called or how to solve it. Someone else has done it, I'm sure. So if you want someone specialized in how to solve this cube, go find someone who has solved it. Oh. Because that cube's not for me, apparently. I have other challenges to do when it comes to solving that cube. Oh, one moment. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Unexpected interruptions. Now, where was I? The cube. Solve the cube. And now that I have solved that cube and you want someone to show you how to solve that specific cube, you would then go get a coach. And as a spiritual coach, again, I talk about these things because I have experiencing them. If I'm talking about twin flames, right, it's because I am divine feminine, divine masculine energy. If you want to talk about soulmates, it's because I've met a couple, that instant soul recognition that people want to call love at first sight, when it's really just you recognizing your soulmate, but your bodies are what is different. If I am talking about crystals, it's because I got a couple. If I'm talking about bracelets, it's because I wear them. So everything that I am telling you is part of my experience. Now, at this time, I'm not taking clients because I am finishing school for business administration. Now, I'm not an expert in business. I need to find my own personal business coach. And if you want to know about finances, you find a finance coach. If you want about fitness, you find a fitness coach. But that is not me. I know my lane. I know how to drive. I'm sticking here. Okay, some people may try and swerve in my lane, but you really running us off of the road when we all going to the same place, because there is only one place to go. The one is all, and the all is one. Now, I think that covers the topic of coaching versus teaching and what it means to have claircognizance. Also, when it comes to the other clairs, they're really just your soul sensing things. Like I was talking about, when it comes to claircognizance, it's soul memory. It's my soul's knowing. And on top of claircognizance, it's sentience, as another gift that I have been training myself in. And clairsentience is clear feeling. It's the ability to sense energies and emotions or information from the soul and the realm which the soul resides, which people say, the spiritual realm, or really the fourth dimension, which is outside of the 3D, where your soul is. It's, people may think of the soul as being internal, but it's actually surrounding your entire vessel. That's why you may feel people before they actually touch you, because that is you sensing someone else's presence, their soul energy. They don't have to physically touch you before you get an idea that someone is around you, right? Blind people can see, right? So another one of the clairs that I know of is, excuse me, clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, right? You clearly see the souls or spirits surrounding you. And it can be really hard dealing with that one. A little bit scary if you don't realize that you are clairvoyant. um, Telling people you see ghosts in the world we live in, when people aren't aware of who they are as a soul, can be a difficult conversation. So but that is what clairvoyance is. It's your soul seeing the other souls, because you naturally can sense them. trying to think here of other clairs. There's like um, clear clear tasting. I've heard. I haven't wrote it down somewhere. Check my notes, cause we know Caronda don't like remembering nothing. She can look up, and so can you. All right. We got. Oh yes, we have uh Clairgustance. That is clear tasting, and that is your soul picking up on flavors without actually consuming them physically, because it's your spiritual body, your soul taking in that feeling or memory of what something tastes like. Uh, it's can be combined with other clear senses. So if you're just sitting somewhere and you start feeling like you're getting a flavor or something and you don't know what it is, but it reminds you of someone, it's probably that someone sending a message through that flavor, because you know they like that flavor or you recognize them by it. So they may try and communicate with you through clairgustance. Another clear sense is clear smelling, which is clairalience. You may pick up on certain smells or odors that aren't present in your physical space because your spiritual self is picking up on those smells. Another one to mention is clear agency. Now, that is clear touching. Um, people, say all the time they feel goosebumps um, when they enter certain houses that may have had spirits who, or well, when they crossed over, they've had, experiences in the physical where that energy stayed around in that building. And you may feel that if you go into certain areas, or part of clear touching is sometimes you may feel, the touch of something on your back or shoulder or nose or ear. With that's really just spirit communicating with you. You're not crazy, okay? I'm letting you know right now that you are not. These are just the spiritual realm trying to get you to understand that they are there, and they're trying to help you see something that you are not seeing with your physical eyes. Science will tell you that anything you see with your visual perception really is delayed by like 3 seconds or so. So the universe is always 3 seconds ahead of you, is what I got when I read that. Can't hide nothing from God. All right, He already knows what you're gonna do before you do it. All right, all right. Uh, that's divine. She will read you like a mom who got eyes in the back of their head, right? They know what you're gonna do before you're gonna do it. And the one other clear that came to mind was clairaudience, which is clear hearing. Sometimes you may hear, another voice that is not your own. Now, how do you really know you're hearing a voice other than your own? Now, this is where meditation comes into play. You need to know what your voice, your inner voice sounds like before you can decipher what someone else's voice is. And in sitting in that solitude, in the nothingness, you may hear a call or word or phrase, or if you close your eyes, you may start to pick up on pictures, which is also part of clairsentience. Images in your head that spirit is trying to show you, that somebody needs a message, right? Or maybe it's just you. A lot of times people don't realize that the divine doesn't communicate often with words, because words are spelling. They're distortions. They've been manipulated and changed so much. I mean, from the basic use of the word son and daughter. We create words all the time. I remember watching, The Simpsons growing up, and the word dough became a part of the dictionary. Now, how do we classify that as a word? If enough people say it, if enough people collectively experience something, it becomes a part of that lexicon. So words only give a fraction of what is really being communicated. That's why we need pictures. That's why we need sound. That's why we need colors and books and movies and things we like to call entertainment to communicate the truth. Now, while you're giving a message, it's only part of a truth, right? Everything I just said here is my truth. The only way I can confirm that with you as a collective truth is if it resonates with you. Now, how can you discern the truth from what is not? It resonates with you at a soul level because your soul is a part of God. It is God. It can't be anything else because there is nothing else to be. Either everything is divine or nothing is. So, kind of went off on a little rant there at the end. But when it comes to learning the truth, well, the soul speaks the language of feelings. That's how you know what your soul is trying to tell you, by what you are feeling. And that's usually how spirit communicates with you because that is your soul, right? How do you know you're upset? You feel angry. How do you know you're happy? You feel joy. How do you know you're tired? You feel sleepy. Or is that really you communicating that? No, that is your soul, right? Trying to tell you something is wrong or something is not the way it should be. Or maybe it is. That's why you feel so at peace and happy. And it's communicating to you that, everything's a-okay. So hopefully I was able to explain what it is to be clear cognizant, as well as the other clear senses out there. There are way more ways to communicate and feel, of course, but those get labeled as we discover them, just like language. Thank you for joining me today. If anything resonated with you, great. If it did not, I am sorry. Please forgive me. And I love you.